Okay, before I get too far here, let's do an update, because I always forget to do updates. This is obviously the K20 project. I don't even know if I added this in the old update, but what I did was there were some holes in the line, in the original liner up in here. I popped them all off, popped all the little pop rivets out. So eventually we'll get this kind of sanded down and primed. I'm gonna have a body shop do just a little body touch up and all the painting. I'm not even gonna attempt that. What we have done recently was, let's pull over here. Let's see if we can get in here. The rust that we had in the floorboards, I figured out where that was coming from. Let's see if we can light this up a little bit. Get this garbage out of here. So there was some surface rust here. It wasn't too bad, it wasn't too thick. It definitely didn't go down through, and I was trying to figure out where it was from. And after running it for a while, I noticed there was some coolant dripping down here. So obviously the heater core was bad. So I popped this out, cleaned everything out in here, replaced the heater core. Now it's all back in. We just got to fire it up and run it. I did put down one of those anti-rust coatings in here. I just rolled it on. I only have it in here so far. We're eventually going to do it there and on the other side. So that's good to have anyway. So that's cool. So we replaced the heater core. What I did was I actually realigned this door as well. It was too far in, so I pulled it out a little bit, and now I did get this what is it, 81 to 88 original body panel. I'll show you in a minute. I had some aftermarket ones, wasn't too happy with them, but this lines up nice and good. This door was pushed in a little bit, so I popped it back out. The lines on this are great. It just took me some time shimming it and everything, but glad to have an OG panel on here. It's just much thicker material. It's a thicker gauge, and I'll show you that in a minute where you can tell, because when you tap this, it's pretty stiff and strong, but when you tap the aftermarket, unless you get the heavy duty version, it's much thinner, as you probably all know. I did just replace this battery bracket. Let me show you the old one. I put this in my sandblaster, sandblasted it down, put anti-rust coating on it, but man, it's just beat to hell. It's still a little bit rusty anyway. You can see it's kind of marred up. And so I literally just went online on eBay, paid 40 or 50 bucks and just got a new one. And it fits great. It's just still heavy gauge. If I can find it, I'll link it down below. Bolted right in. I did have to bend it around just a little bit to get the bolt holes lined up, but now it's back in and great. I don't even know if I added this in my last video. Let's see if you can come down here. And I did replace the carburetor, because this thing was running just weird, and it had an older Carter on here. And so what I did, or an older Edelbrock, so what I did was I went and just got an AVS 2, popped this sucker on. Man, it runs like a champ. Oh, it runs so fantastic. I can't show you right now because the other part of what I'm doing right now is, so obviously I've got this body panel off here. I've got not a new one, but an old new one off a K30 in the garage. I'll show you that in a minute. Clean this all up. There wasn't really any rust on here, so I just sanded the light rust that was on the surface, put some anti-rust on there, and then just put a semi-gloss black on top of it. It looks great. Looks fantastic. It's kind of nice because it still has the, you know, the stock tire mount, dismount badge on here. I kind of like that. But the other part is I was getting a lot of brake fade, and the brakes were absolute crap. Now the front end of this has been rebuilt. I don't know if you can see in here. I just replaced the ball joints as well. Let's see, you can see maybe the ball joints on top. Maybe you can't see. Anyway, I replaced the ball joints in here. The brakes on here are fairly new. I believe the bearings are new as well. So the front end's pretty good, brakes and all. And so I knew it wasn't that. So I just, it felt like maybe the master cylinder was old school, and then the brake booster, who knows when that's been replaced. So I was just like, screw it, I want good setup for my future anyway. So what we did was, here's the old setup. You can see here, you know, it's got the old school top style, doesn't make a good seal. I do believe this is a 9 or maybe even a 10-inch. So what I did was I ordered a new Willwood master. I do have proportioning valves down here for disc brakes front and back, because we are doing rear disc brakes with a new 14-bolt front end. So I'm just going to get it now and put it on. And then I did have a 9-inch booster coming, but it was back ordered for like another month or two. And he's like, hey, I'll throw in a 8-inch double for no extra charge. And I was like, you know what? Why not? I saw a lot of good reviews. The actual overall pressure that it gives is better than just a single 9. So the double 8 is what I'm going with. And I'll let you know how I feel about that once we get that on. But I wanted to video this before I even put it on. I'm in the process now. It's not that difficult. Probably take a couple hours really overall. And then let's hop in and take a look. I did get this at Harbor Freight. This is the 20-ton. I redid the gearing on the 2-door Tahoe, and I use this to press my bearings in the differential. This is great. It's a great tool. It's kind of big and clunky. I don't have so much room in my garage anymore. It's just a crap show in here. But this is nice to have, and it wasn't too expensive. And I'm going to use this for when we do, I figured I had double duty for when we do the gears on here. Now these are 411s now. I'm going to replace them no matter what, because I don't know what condition they're in. And then we may go 456. It just depends what size tires we're going to go with, whether it's 35s or 40s or wherever we're going with the truck. But what's great about this differential is I opened it up. It is the limited slip. So that was a huge bonus in buying this. But we're going to rebuild this whole thing and obviously put disc brakes on here, which is why we got the proportioning valve. But here is one of the new Fenders, and I don't know if you can hear it. It's very, when I messaged the guy on Facebook, I said, hey, are these the heavy duty aftermarket or are these the light duty? He said, oh, they're the heavy. And when I got them, I was just like, damn it, these aren't the heavy duties. If you go to LMC Truck, there are two options. There's a light duty, which is what this is. And then they have a heavier gauge, but the downfall is yeah, they're not that much more. Like the light duty are like 150. I think the heavy duty are like 250. Don't quote me. But the shipping on them is like $300 or something. It's just stupid. So some guy was selling both of these Fenders here for, gosh, I overpaid. I know, $400. Realistically, they should have been $300. I put them on just to see how they fit. They fit okay. They do have issues, but they're nice and clean and pre-primed, and it is nice. I'm not gonna lie. I could have lived with this, but I just wanted to stick with the heavy duty. So I went and got from a local guy who does nothing but square body stuff for $125. I got another passenger side, and why I did was because the one that was on the truck had a huge dent in here that was bondoed, and I was like, I don't want to deal with that. It's just a pain. It's just easier for me to go get one of these for $120. It does have one small ding here, but this is just small stuff. I don't mind the small dents and dings. It's the big ones that are pain, and I'm not very good at body work. There was just a little bit of rust down here, just a little bit of surface. I already sanded it and primed it. Now it's great. Same on the inside. There's just a little bit of rust, and I sanded and primed that. I got a little bit more down in here, but this will be great. And so we'll be putting that on real soon. Basically getting this thing ready to go to the body and paint. Get it as good as I can ahead of time, and that's the goal. That said, I think that's about it for the update right now. She's really getting cleaned up and nice. Glad to have all the heating done. Basically everything body-wise on this side is done. And then the hood, eventually we're just going to have to drop down, sand it because it's got some light rust on it, and then get that ready for the paint store as well. But once we get these brakes in, we'll be able to fire this thing back up and check the brakes. And if the brakes are good, we can finally drive it around just a little bit to make sure everything else is good. And once it's drivable, then we can drive it to the body shop and start there. So that's it for the updates. I think that's about it. If you have any questions, leave comments. Hope you enjoy the videos. They're just kind of fun for me, and just fun to do updates and just let you know where I go with my truck. Maybe that influences you how you do yours. I know there's a lot of you out there building square bodies. So just more info out there. Don't want to make this too long-winded, so thanks for watching, and talk to you again soon. Later.